welcome back to another training video. In this one we're working on her confidence with pole work and again with the saddle. So we tried a new formation, which is to put the poles in like a triangle formation. So the idea is that she'll go over the point and then over the last pole. And you go straight away, she heads up into trot. It's the first time she did it and she went straight for it. It's a good way to kind of try and help them keep their straightness. So I thought it'd be worth a shot. I wasn't expecting her to go for it confidently to start with, but she did. So again, you can see first time without the saddle, just so that she can suss it out. And I don't lunge on a proper circle, but I try to lead her to the right point and then ask her to trot, and then into the triangle and then back out. And you can see that time she's a little bit less confident because she didn't do it in like 2 strides, she kind of put in a little extra step, but that's okay because you just want them to gain the confidence first of just going through it. So once I was happy with one side, I thought, okay, let's try the next way. And I'm always happy for her to do it in walk first if she feels more comfortable that way. So again, just try and line her up, turn her head. She's happy to go for it in trot, she checks it out, straight over, and perfect, and then give them plenty of praise so that they're doing the right thing. But you can see she's not fussed about it at all. And then we try a longer trot so that she can start kind of from a further way. So again, she's pulling her head a little bit, but you see she jumped in perfectly and out perfectly. So then next time I decided to do it, I thought with the saddle, because again she needs to gain the confidence with the stirrups moving around and the saddle moving around on her back. And this time I'm confident that she knows what to do, so I let her see it. This time she chooses to walk it, but it's not because of the poles, it's because of the saddle. She's not too keen on it. But I encourage her and then I keep her walking, which as you can see she'd rather stop if she could, but that's okay, we can take our time. I've still got the lunge whip just as an incentive more than anything else, just so that she knows that I actually want it to work. So I ask her to pick up the trot when she's roughly straight, and then she wasn't quite over the point, but it was close enough to deserve a lot of praise. So it's a good way if your horse is kind of nervous about saddle, or even if it's about anything else. Pole work encourages them to move their feet properly, pick them up, and encourages them to be a little bit more forward. Because as you can see, without the poles she moves very, very slowly. So again, I ask her to trot, ask her a bit more forward, and yeah, she puts in that extra little step. But that's alright, because she's still trotted into the triangle, over the point, and straight back out. And then obviously you have to do it both sides. She has a tendency to turn quite sharply, going clockwise. So if your horse kind of tries to cut you off a little bit, just ask them to do a tighter circle and then realign them. So once I was happy with where she was, and you can see again she wasn't quite straight, she went in over a pole and out over a pole rather than in over the point and out over the pole. But then you still reward them because she was still forwards, and then we just do it again until we're happy. But you can see that it's a good way to distract her from the saddle, that it's not just, oh, we're going to trot in circles and circles until you're comfortable. We're focusing on something else. And you could see that she's not holding tension in her body because of the saddle. One of the things that I try to do when I'm lunging is I try and point in the direction that I want her to go. And that's a good way to kind of get them well trained, that they don't need a lot of contact. So as you can see, the next thing I thought to do, rather than constantly just go over the point and out over the pole, is to kind of use them as half of a fan. Because again, she has to adjust her strides, and she did really well actually, because we don't practice that formation. And it's a good way to kind of keep things different, because you don't want them to get bored, and you want to keep their minds active. So again, I'm just switching the rope over, and then go the other way. And as you can see, she's kind of sticking to me, but that's okay, because I'm trying to also communicate with her verbally and tell her to go out and that, and she kind of gets it. She's just asking if she can stop. So again, straight into trot, ask her to go over it. She hesitates because she hasn't done it before that way. But that's okay, as long as she keeps moving forwards. That's what we're aiming for at this point. Again, ask her to trot, and then this time she's more confident over it. I mean, at least she trots out, right? But again, you can give them plenty of verbal praise if they haven't done exactly what you wanted. So you keep going for it. A bit more encouragement, plenty of space, and then she trots in and out. You can see she's a bit more tense there because she throws her head up a little bit. But then you give her plenty of praise. Well, thanks for watching. Join us next time.